and welcome back to the Bullring Podcast. And welcome back to the Bullring Podcast, where entrepreneurs, artists, and everyday people get on the show and tell their story. It's your host, Candid. You can find me at I Am Candid 2020 on Instagram and I Am Candid Photography on Facebook. And you can find me at the Bullring Podcast on Instagram and the Bullring Podcast on Facebook. And
you got your boy Work Sinatra. You can find me at Work Sinatra, Big Work Sinatra, Pressure Boys 912.
Okay.
Bullring Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok,
all that.
It's just everywhere. Yeah, just like I always say, Google it. It'll pop up.
For sure, man. It's season 7 now. Everybody make sure you go and catch season 6 is already on YouTube. Just go ahead and click the link in the bio. And then also season 7 is here. And we got a special guest today, man. Real special guest today. But
I've been waiting for this one.
I know, man. It's been like since the Hurricanes game too.
Yeah.
Since the Hurricanes game.
Yeah, that's the last time we talked.
But without further ado, man, here on the Bullring Podcast, we let people introduce themselves because only their words can describe them. So introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Attorney Derek Horne with the Horne Law Firm. You can find us at www.horne.law, 912-800-HURT. That's HURT or 4878. And of course, we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the normal social media. And we're proud and happy to be here.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
We have it all at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
We all at the bottom.
It'll be everywhere.
Yeah,
Appreciate you for getting on the show, for real. We see you everywhere on TV. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But we'll start off with
the Bull Rush. All right. This is a segment where I ask you 5 questions. You can't plead the 5th, and you can answer them how you want to answer.
Okay.
All right.
Bring it.
The first one is, what's one of your guilty pleasures?
One of my guilty pleasures. That is a good question. I like to binge watch shows. Okay. I would sit down, and it could be like Breaking Bad. It could be, back in the day it was The Wire, whatever. And when I say binge watch, I mean I might watch like 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes in a row.
Oh wow!
I just did that with the Book of Cain, Cain and the Power thing. Yeah, I sat there and watched like the whole series. I even went to sleep till like 4 o'clock that next morning. Yeah,
nice.
I'm not gonna lie. I get a show like I get into it. You have a lot of free time, so you watch it when you can. And a weekend may come, and I don't want to wait. Like a month or 2 months to find out what happens. Yeah. Boy, when like Yellowstone came out,
all the angels are gone, son. There's only devils left.
Yeah. And then I had them all recorded and I binge watched it. That's what I do.
Yeah. Okay. What never failed to make you laugh?
Never fails to make me laugh. Dave Chappelle.
Okay. Nice.
Point blank. Period. That's
a funny
easy
man.
Choice right there. Yeah, easy choice. Common choice, but I will rewatch his specials because the man has a genius to his comedy that's just real.
Yeah. Okay. One person you would like to be stuck on the island with.
One person. Yeah, definitely not going to say Taylor Swift.
My man know how to get publicity.
One person. Okay, so you didn't put a time limit on it now. So, and of course there are a lot of beautiful women out there, but if I was going to say, for intellectual perspective, Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
I mean, his mind, and, just like...
By the time you get rescued, you'll be alert, so...
Yeah, I learned a lot, about history, about what really was and not what they're teaching now, like what was really going on. I'm actually reading one of his autobiographies right now, and that's probably why it popped in my mind, because, that man's mind, just like, it's vast and deep, and just, he is a smart man. Yeah. It was,
Okay. Your childhood celebrity crush.
Childhood celebrity crush. That is a tough one. You're gonna laugh, but I swear he was Whitney Houston.
Okay.
That's
you know. Before Whitney met Bobby, she wasn't bad at all. You know what I'm saying? It's after the Bobby effect. You know what I'm saying?
She was beautiful and classy and could sing and But yeah, Bobby kind of.
She was from the church. You know what I'm saying? She was clean, nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Whitney was nice back in the 80s and 90s though. Yeah, she was one-on-one. And what's your dream job?
Dream job. Okay, so. In a future, in a best future, what I would like to do is I would like to sue HOAs for free.
Oh,
so I'd like to have so much money that I didn't have to work. and I like to sue HOAs because they're on a power trip.
I
and
swear
they drive by, and then like you got like a flower pot in the backyard. It's supposed to be at the front. That's a $20 fine, and nobody's gonna fight it. They're just gonna pay it. I would like to step up and go, okay, I got nothing but time. That would be like one of my dream jobs.
That'd be a good job. Yeah, you'll get hired, bro.
Seriously, oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he just became my hero.
Yeah, I hate you, bro. Like I'm already. I hate my HOA, man. Like,
We all do.
Yeah,
we've all dealt with them. They're like in a power trip. It's ridiculous.
I be like, bro, I paid for I'm buying this house. Like, how you gonna tell me what to do with my house? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That was the bull rush,
man. That was a bull rush, man. That was real good. My HOA got me for some parking tickets. I was like, how am I getting tickets from the city and from the HOA? That don't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it public or is it private? Which one is it?
That's what I'm saying. And I thought, man, mine's with the grass. I hate that grass. They're like, oh, you got to cut your grass. Like, man, I cut my grass every 2 weeks. If I want to skip a week, I can skip a week.
Like, my young man's got COVID. You gonna blame me?
Yeah, like, man, I hate it, man. We be arguing with our HOAs in our neighborhood.
For sure. We just hire Horne.
That's wait. When I retired, I'm gonna do it for free.
I'm gonna wait till we get into the question. I'm about to say, do they have people who will sue the HOA for you?
I mean, truthfully, you can find them, but they're few and far between because it's better money to work for the HOA, right? So that's where the money's at. So very few people do it. That's why I say I got to make my money and then retire. A couple bags put away, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm gonna do it for free.
Pro bono work. I got you.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, so as always, Big Bro always gets the first question. So go ahead.
And the first question is, what's on your birth certificate?
I don't know. I'm adopted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. So,
okay.
So you don't know where you from.
I mean, I know I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay.
But I honestly don't know what's on the birth certificate.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
So tell us that story. So all right. So you was adopted at what age?
I was 3.
3. Okay.
So I've been in and out of a few foster homes, and straight up honest with you, at that time, we're talking back like, late 70s, because I was a mixed baby, kind of like, and they don't show you the baby before you adopt them.
Yeah.
The black parents are like, we kind of want a black kid.
Right.
And the white kids like, white parents, we want a white kid. And I was mixed. So they kind of like, a few parents like, I don't want him. And then like, luckily, I won the adoption lottery. And my parents came along, and I got a mom who's an English teacher and dad who's in the FBI. So I got blessed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Two hardworking indivials, know their morals and right compass, man.
Moving
that is
up and grounded, and and raised me the right way, and now don't get me wrong, I got the belt a few times.
I'm about to
still raised the right way. Still raised the way.
You ain't never thought about being an officer then? Knowing that your father was a police officer?
Well,
FBI agent?
I thought about it, but honestly, I just had a calling to go into the law. My dad went to law school while he was in the FBI.
Okay.
So I was like, if he can do it and has a real daytime job, then I can do it, without having a job.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what brought you into becoming a lawyer?
I think it was that exposure when I was young. One day I came home and they're putting extra room on my house. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, why are we putting extra room on the house? And he was in the military, so he wanted to use up the VA money, right? I mean, the GI money, sorry. And so he's like, well, they're going to give it to him. I'm going to use it. So he went to law school, and, he didn't even tell his coworkers he was doing it until he was on his third year. Yeah. So, it was almost done. And I was like, dang, that's cool. And I saw how they benefited his career, how it opened up doors, how he got respect, how he was better educated, and I just kind of he'd leave his books laying around. I started reading them, and I was just like, I think I want to go to law school.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Man, that's good. That's great. My grandfather was actually a lawyer, so that's I spent some time in New York, but he was into doing a lot of estate law. Yeah, so dealing with people's wills and
probate,
things like that,
all that stuff. Yeah.
So he'll have me type up different papers, follow the format, go carry a couple things to people, get it signed, things like that.
Okay.
So I was exposed to it. I just never really got into it, but it's always been something I wanted to do in the future, especially go back to school and try my luck at it, I guess. Yeah.
And there's a lot, you can make a lot of money in probate, but it's best if you know a lot of rich people too. And I grew up middle class, so that may not be the one for me.
What kind of lawyer was your daddy, your father going to be?
He went to law school, but he didn't actually practice law.
Okay.
Right. He was just, he just did it basically for the education.
Yeah.
And that's always smart to do too, because you're ruled by laws. Why not study them? Or how they're gonna actually hold them against you, or what standard you're being held to.
Hey, knowledge is power. So the more you know,
the more you know. Yeah, ain't never nothing wrong with learning. Yeah.
Was studying for the board? The bar exam hard?
It was. My dad had passed, not too long before that. So it's kind of like I was dealing with my mom, my niece, my sister, girlfriend, had a lot going on, and it's like a lot of people crying, a lot of people upset, kind of thing like that. And it's like, okay, I got to, bone up for this exam,
right.
And if you don't pass it, you got to wait to the next time. It's only offered twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long wait to, plus you didn't feel too good about yourself if you fail an exam you've been trying that hard for. So, but luckily we got through it, and I went to a good enough school to prep me, Tulane, shout out. And, so it worked out well.
First time go?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I know a lot of people, first time they go to the bar, I think my grandfather failed it 6 times. 6 times in the case.
I didn't want to take it twice, you know what I'm saying? It's like
after the second time, I'm like, hey, man, I don't know, man.
it's like catching a spanking, you know what I'm saying? You tell your parents everything you did, go ahead and get it out of the way.
Yeah, for real. Go ahead, bro.
No. How long did it take, though?
Well, I'll be honest with you. So a lot of people take a prep course, and after school, you take literally a whole prep course for the bar. I just got some books and kind of studied on my own because that's just more me. I don't want to be around a bunch of people and talking. So I just want to focus. So it took about 6 weeks of just intense study.
So you just locked yourself in the room?
It was sun up to sundown for 6 weeks.
Okay. You're more of a by yourself type of flashcards, me memorize it.
Yeah, shut out the world and just get it done.
Okay. Yeah.
Respect.
What I'm about to ask you, when it comes to the bar, being an injury lawyer or a law lawyer, you could decide which way to go, or can say you're an injury lawyer, can you go in the courtroom and fight a case for somebody, or that's something different?
Yeah, the law is kind of funny because when I went to law school, I'd been a stockbroker before, so I thought I was going to go and do securities law. That was kind of the plan going in. I used the stockbroker knowledge. I passed my Series 7, go to law school, combine those two, and move to DC or something like that, and work in big mergers, acquisitions, and make bank. Yeah. But my professor was an adjunct, which means he worked and he came to class. And during my semester, he must have pulled 10 all-nighters. He looked miserable. Yeah. And I talked to him. He said, if you don't like pulling all-nighters, and he was in his early 50s, kind of old to be pulling all-nighters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need to be going home, bro. Yeah, you need to be going home, bro. Yeah.
That's so old to be staying up all night. He looked miserable. So I was like, he'd be wearing his sunglasses and laid back in class and be talking about to fall asleep. I was like, no, that ain't. I don't want to do that. Money's nice, but you got to have quality of life too. So he wasn't seeing his family, his kids. It was sounding miserable. So I know that. So, but then when you get out of law school, the weird thing is you get your degree. Once you pass the bar, you can practice whatever law you want.
Okay.
That's why they call it practicing. Okay. So, you got young lawyers out there practicing criminal law, and they never had a case before. Yeah. And, but they're taking on clients. You got them doing will states and trust and stuff like that. Never done it before. You got them doing personal injury. They never done it before. So it's unlike medicine, which is at least they make you do a year residency and kind of practice someone's tutelage. You can start practicing immediately whatever you want to do, but it's risky.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the common route that most lawyers do after they pass the bar? So they pass the bar. Do they normally go be an intern somewhere? Do they normally try their luck at starting their own firm? I doubt it, but some people do. Some people are ambitious.
It's funny because I was at a Black Law Students Association get-together recently in New Orleans, where Tulane is, and a lot of the kids out there nowadays, they're just like, I'm going to hang up my own shingle. And I'm like, you better have some malpractice insurance. Cause you're going to make mistakes. That's just common. But, you can go big law, and that was never for me. Big law is where you get out of school and you become a first year, then a second year, then maybe a junior associate, then associate, and then a junior partner. You work your way up the food line, but it's like, they work you like a dog. Yeah. I had a classmate who slept on a cot in a file room, and that was his job, up in New York. Yeah. That was never for me. And then a lot of times you go to a smaller firm, like a boutique firm, someone takes you under the wing, you get a mentorship. That's kind of a better route, I think. But a lot of people go government. And some people hang out their shingle and kind of do it. So it's like you got a lot of options. That's a good thing about law school is you can do a lot of different things.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice. So it's important to have like a mentor when you first get out?
I think that's critical. Yeah. Because you have your known knowns, your known unknowns, and your unknown unknowns.
Right.
And your unknown unknowns are like, that's like stepping on a landmine. You don't even know it's a landmine, right? Things do not go well for you sometimes.
Like lose your whole practice, stepping on it.
And me personally, I couldn't do that for like criminal law. Someone's facing, real time in prison, and you're like defending them, and you make a mistake, and they're gone for 10 years. You're like,
my bad. My bad. Like,
you go home and sleep, and they're in prison. Like, that ain't cool.
Yeah. Kind of hard to sleep too, because you got to hope he don't come after your family member feel some type of way. Like, hey man, you got my partner for 50 years or something. You're like, oh man, bro, yeah. Especially that they don't pay you all this money, you know what I'm saying? Because them criminal lawyers, they ain't cheap. Like, man, shoot.
And there's a lot more pressure, especially if your client's innocent. Your client's innocent, you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like,
or even overcharge, I mean, a lot of times it's just they overcharge you, like, terroristic threats and all this other stuff they're talking about. Like, just stop. They throw 19 charges at you for jaywalking. It's like, stop.
Oh yeah, I had this one buddy get called with a terroristic charge, and I think it wasn't even like a weapon in his car. It was just like a makeshift like it wasn't even a flamethrower. It was like something playful, like a plaything that it couldn't actually combust and all that stuff. Still gave him the charge because they didn't know what it was. Oh my god! He actually had to fight it like for a while, like fight the case and everything.
That costs
a lot of time.
I'm telling you, and the simple fact that's money. Even when you get found, innocent. You still don't get that money back.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's right.
Like,
money's gone.
I'm innocent. Do I get my money back? No. You know what I'm saying? You don't get none of that bond money back. No, nothing back. You just going home. Yeah.
And bad news travels a lot faster than good news, right? So even if you are found innocent later, people don't even remember that. It's like, I can't remember you got caught up in something.
You're right. You're right. They only remember you got caught up. That's all they remember.
They get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, you're right now. You're right now. What's one thing you think injury lawyers get a bad rep?
For ambulance chasing. Like I like to joke sometimes I drop ice cubes. I don't really drop ice cubes, I'm saying. But it works. People are like, they think we're so hungry for business that we'll go out there and do anything and take any kind of case. But, most of the time, and you never know, sometimes people, you don't really know if they're hurt and you're kind of looking at them sometimes. You're like, are you really hurt?
Right.
But people's pain spectrum, I've learned from doing this, is all over the map. Some people could be, in a fender bender, and they really are just, they don't handle pain well or whatever it is. Maybe they're fragile or whatever it is. They got a pre-existing injury that gets worse and it makes, now they're struggling. But we get a bad rep. But, a lot of people, on the other side of it, once they've been through it and they realize how much injury can mess up your life when you don't have a rental and you can't get to work and your boss is saying you better get here or you can't get your kids from daycare and they're like, you better get here because your car's all jacked up and things like that, and the other insurance company's not calling you back or you got unpaid bills and things like that you got to handle or you hurt, you need to see a doctor and you're in a small town and they're like, I ain't going to see you unless you got health insurance. You don't. Like, you have to as a personal injury attorney, you got to take that burden on and go fight for people. And that's actually one of the things I really enjoy about the job.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you actually get to help people get compensation for wrecks and actually getting injured when it wasn't to the fault of their own.
Not every case you get to play a hero, but, enough to, kind of like feel good about the job.
Okay. That's some good perks, then. Yeah. So that brings us up to the next question. Actually, what's some of the pros and cons? So you were speaking about some of the cons to it. What's some more of the pros to being an injury lawyer?
Yeah, well, again, the pros, I mean, you can make a decent amount of money doing it, because you're suing insurance companies and they got money. They don't want to part with it very easily.
They gonna fight. They gonna fight you.
Believe me, they're gonna fight.
Yeah, they gonna fight now.
But you do get to help people. I mean, you have people come in and they can't work for 6 months, okay? And they are struggling. They're looking for you to help out with all kind of things, right? from getting them treatment to helping them pay their bills to helping them deal with their family situations. You know, you deal with all kind of stuff, you know, and people, you see a lot of people, you see family stress. You see like, okay, you know, wife's got a hurt back and, you know, all of a sudden, you know, she ain't going to the bedroom, period. You know, husband's like, well, wait, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is affecting me now, right? You know, in other ways that, you know, can't even be anticipated.
I didn't even think about that. You don't think about those type of things. It's a car accident or an accident right then, but you're not thinking about the second, third order effects that has on people. Like, it might put them into depression, and then, like, their everyday things is not everyday things anymore. Like, it's messing them up.
We use a fair amount of psychologists because we do see clients that are truly depressed and they're struggling. You know, they can't even pick up their kids and like, mommy, pick me up. Well, I can't. 4 or 5 years old, and they can't do it. Their back hurts or whatever it is, and it's like, you know, it's real drama, it's real stress, it's real pressure, it's real financial, you know, headwinds, and you know, and that's real in people's lives. Until you've been through it, you don't know.
Yeah, I seen one of my where I stay at in Park West. I seen one of my neighbors. He had to sell his house. He got in an accident at work, and he couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Wife was trying to keep it up. He had no selling his house. He can't even say, man, I can't, because I can't work right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this right here about to lead into my next question, but you know what I'm saying? He had Morgan and Morgan. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, they taking so long that I can't afford to keep this up. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, my question is, what makes you different from Morgan and Morgan? Or like no type of kind of lawyers, like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that. I guess I'll say this. There's pretty much 2 types of personal injury firms out there. You got a Home Depot, you got an Ace Hardware. Now, Home Depot, you know, you go in, and we've all been there. You kind of go in and they say, hey, you know, go down to aisle 17, it's on the left on the top shelf. You know, and it's a big-ass store, right? You look around trying to find that, you know, you don't know one wrench from another, and, you know, and like trying to find an eighth-inch lug nut, and you look at it, it's like 3/5 and 1/4 and 9/4. So, you know, you try to figure all this stuff out. But at Ace Hardware, you walk in, they walk out from behind the counter, and they say, you know, Mr. Horne, a lot of times they know who you are. You've been there before. And they walk you down and say, oh, you don't need that. That's for a contractor. You don't want to spend that kind of money. This one's on sale. This is the best value. This one will last you. And they can tell you kind of the
personal touch.
Yeah, that personal touch. So I would say there's an advantage to hiring a lawyer who actually is going to get to know you. And also with personal injury, there's so much granularity to it. It makes a difference. I can look at someone's medical records and hospital bills all I want, and I can read the accident report, but that doesn't tell me if they live in a 3-story apartment with the elevator's broken. Now you got a busted ankle and you on crutches. You know, that's not in the accident report.
You're right.
That's not in the medical records. And you got to go home and fight groceries on the one hand, trying to get up to the 3rd floor. That's like real, right? So when you get to meet people, you understand what they're really going through. You understand what pain and suffering really means. And then not only do you know more about them when you talk to the insurance company, but you also want to fight for them because it's not just a number. So I'd say that's a bigger difference between like some of the law firms that are bigger and some of the ones that are more like smaller and medium sized. We actually know our clients. We recognize them in the grocery store, you know, because my clients, you know, they see me, they know who I am, I know who they are. You know, I guarantee you some of these bigger firms, they could be sitting next to a client, they wouldn't know who they
won't even know who you is. You're right. You're right.
So if y'all want that personal touch, you know who to go to.
Yeah, for real. Personal injury deserves personal attention. That's what
you're
we
right,
say.
though. And I'm the type of person, I'm hands-on, so I want to be able to touch you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't finna sit here and be like, oh, you got to talk to this person. No, I want to be able to come here, you know what I'm saying, and communicate, you know what I'm saying? Because you could, I just feel like stuff like Morgan and Morgan and, you know, just like big people like that, I don't like talking to too many people. You know what I'm saying? If I got to talk to this person, then, oh, we got a new lawyer in your case. You got to talk to this person. And, oh, can you send your paperwork over that you already sent the other lawyer? But I'm your new lawyer, so can you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm not. Because once I get that situation, I'm going to be like, okay, you know what? I can't do this, you know, because I'm going to have another lawyer in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'm already giving it
right? You got a sign-up person, an intake person, you got a case manager, you got a settlement coordinator, you got a paralegal, you got an attorney. Like, you know, you talk to like 6, 7, 8 people before your case is done. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot, because you done been forgot who you talking to now. You're like, well, somebody told me this. And you be like, well, who told you? Well, I don't know, it might be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I always been like that. Even when it comes to, even when I talk to people over the phone, I'm like, okay, now I'm dealing with you. I'll be the only person I'm dealing with. I don't want to deal with 100 people, you know, because I want to hold somebody accountable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't hold them accountable if there's like 9 people talking at you.
Yeah. See, but they can hold you accountable because I can pull. Hey, I can see you. I can catch you walking down the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull up on Mr. Hall and see what he got going on. But that's a good thing though. That's a good thing though. Yeah, because I'm not trying to hide. You know what I'm saying? Only time you probably see somebody like Morgan & Morgan is somebody is on a commercial. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know too many clients who could actually say they seen them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you know somebody who seen John Morgan in the office, let me know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you never see them. All you see is the people. You know what I'm saying? That you probably don't see them either. But it just I'm a small type person, so that's a plus. That's a good thing, really, man. You know, so. Yeah, I like that right there.
Getting passed from one lawyer to the next, I know it can really break your trust as a client. So like the next question that we have for you is, how do you gain that trust from your clients?
Well, first, sit down and look them in the eye, okay, and let them know that I'm here. Another thing we always tell our clients is that if we settle your case, we're not taking more than you. And I dare people to ask some of these other firms if that's true or not up front, because they take off the top what they get, and then whatever you get left over is whatever you get left over. Right. We don't work like that. We ain't walking away with more than our clients because I wouldn't hurt. You were hurt, and some of these clients have injuries that can last for years, right? So like they got to deal with this, and even sometimes the insurance money, unfortunately, because the limits are so low, sometimes people drive around with $25,000 in coverage. What happens if you got $30,000 in medical bills, and you got pain and suffering, and you got lost wages? Right. So they're gonna come in and take like a third off the top and leave you whatever's left over. Well,
you're right.
That's just
savage.
You're right.
It is. So that's one way you gain the trust, is just being fair with them, right? And then just being honest with them. And one thing is, I give up my cell phone number to clients. So, they call me, they can call me on a weekend. It'd be Saturday, call me up and say, hey, Derek, I got a question. They can text me and I'll get back to them so they know that. Because I like to tell the staff, fear starts in the dark. Right? So don't leave your clients hanging in the dark. Right? Because then people start to worry, like, well, am I in the back burner?
I'm not important.
Do they care? Am I important?
Overthinking because you're ready for getting anxious and all that stuff for something to happen or new information to come out. Because sometimes these things take a while and negotiations take a while. So like,
but communication is key.
Exactly. Communication.
You build that communication, then you build that trust, and it goes from there. Ain't nobody going to trust you from the jump, of course, right?
Right.
But you build that over the time of the case, and then you send them to good providers. You take care of them. It all works out.
This is a question where we all play off what you just said about the suffering. Are the payouts ever reach the amount of the injury a person suffers? Because I know that mostly, like you say, insurance companies, when you get insurance, you have a certain amount they kick out. You know what I'm saying? It might be 100,000, it might be 55, it might be 20. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, but have you ever dealt with somebody who suffered, you felt like they suffered more than that, Sure, well, wrongful death case, for sure, right? So someone died, you can't put a number on that.
Right.
I don't care if it's 1 million, I don't care if it's 2 million, I don't care if it's 5 million, whatever you get for that client, it's still just, they would still trade all that money
for that
in a heartbeat to have their wife back, their child back, for sure. So in a case like that, there is no number. But unfortunately, you got to come up with something. And the law has, borders and boundaries and rules and, ways of looking at it, which, at the end of the day, it's an opinion, but it's just probably the best opinion we can come up with to kind of make it most fair for the most people and make it work in society. Because obviously you can't give somebody $1 billion if someone died, because then the insurance is going to be bankrupt, and then, every other claim they pay out wouldn't get paid, and all those people would be suffering, right? So it's like, it's a balancing act, but it's tough because Georgia hasn't raised the limits in a minute. I mean, it's probably been like 30 years, at least, since they raised the insurance limits. That's a long time to be driving around 25,000. Think how much more valuable cars are nowadays.
You're right.
Even just property damage. You hit somebody who's a brand new car.
Come on, man.
You're right. And you only get 25,000 in coverage, so they probably got to go to their carrier and start. And they're not going to raise their insurance premium because they're using their insurance for something that's not even their fault. So they need to raise those limits. But then of course nobody wants to pay higher insurance limits either. So that's kind of the catch-22, right?
Exactly. But question on the feed off the piggyback off that. Can, like, say if it was a wrongful death accident and say they only limit to like 60,000, can you go for more?
Well, if the person has assets.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
I mean, let's be real about it. A lot of people aren't
Don't have
pursuing.
assets.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you're basically judgment proof if you have no assets. You know, no real equity in a home, no real land, nothing to sue. You know, I mean, those are hard conversations. You talked about pros and cons. I have sat in a room with somebody. I tell you, I had 3 women who lost their children from placental abruptions in the same summer, all in utero and all more than 7 months pregnant. So, you know, they were going to have the babies. You know, it was like, you know, healthy babies. And one person got $3 million. You know, like it was a hair under that, like 2.8. One person got 100,000. And she could have got more, but she didn't want to relive it.
Right.
So she just took the insurance money. If the person had assets, we could have sued. And one person got 25,000 because she hit by somebody who didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Wow.
So, you know, and there's no point suing some poor college kid who's borrowing somebody's car, who's renting a home, you know, who doesn't have any money. Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get anything.
Yeah, there's nothing there. So it made me look good because I get a big judgment. Right, I could say, and some of the attorneys do that. They say, "Oh, I got a judgment for $2 million," but then I'll tell you, the client never collected.
Right.
Come on, man. Yeah. See, that's the part. That part. Yeah.
They do that. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, okay. Speak on that then.
No, I can't speak on
who. But you know what I'm saying?
I can speak on who.
But but like the kind of So.
Because remember, a judgment's just like I tell my mom because she loves Judge Mathis, Judge Judy, Judge Alex. She watches all that stuff.
I love that too. I love it too. Yeah, but I'm a People's Court fan.
Okay. But just because Judge Judy comes back and says, you know, $2,500 for the plaintiff, that don't mean the plaintiff ever collects that $2,500. They got to go out that court and they got to get it from the defendant, and the defendant may not pay it. The defendant may not have it.
Oh, okay.
You know, or it could be paid out over a real long time. You don't see that part. You know, once they go to commercial, you don't know what happens.
You don't know what happened next.
Yeah.
Kind of like Donald Trump in the situation. You know what I'm saying? He got sued for that much amount of money, but she might don't see that money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she might see
the judgment was something like
100
million, so some crazy amount of money.
You know what I'm saying?
$80 million or something like that.
I know he ain't got that. So it's like she won. Yeah, she won.
Right, that's a judgment. It's not a payout.
Right.
That's two totally different things. Right.
Okay. So it could be forever. You might never get it.
Right. Yeah. Some people don't. You know, they get a big judgment, but then they may never collect on the money because people do have a constitutional right to declare bankruptcy too.
Right.
So you know, it's
they had a bunch of assets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Learn it. Learn it.
Oh, wow. So what was your first case?
First case. I think my very first case was representing a family member for a DUI.
Okay.
Yeah. And just going in and talking to the prosecutor and talking to the judge and saying, I'm an attorney and, you know, wet behind the ears and like my family member, you're going to give him a break on the DUI. It could happen to any of us, that kind of thing, that type situation.
Trying to rub some elbows. They was like, man, who are you? Man, come on. I'm a lawyer, man. Come on.
Hey.
Yeah, but I was nervous as hell. But, I did right by her and got it reduced down to, something she could live with, and it wasn't gonna, really ruin her life because, going to jail at that time for her would have been tough, little kid and everything else. So
Well, it turned out good then. So that was a successful first case.
Yeah, that was a successful first case. Yes,
man.
Yes.
Man was 1 for 1, batting 1,000.
So, how you linked up with the hurricane situation?
Actually, one of my staff members, Zyke, who was here today, he introduced me and Lindsay, the owner. We hit it off well, and he was looking for a sponsor. Yeah. And I saw, what he was doing, how they were going to give back to the community, how they were going to be involved, how they can put good character people on the team. And, I was like, well, it's a great opportunity to get the name out there, build the brand, but support something I believe in too. So it's just a natural fit.
Okay.
Man. Because I was surprised to see you at the game. Because when I saw you at the game, and then my son was like, he's the person on the commercials. I was like, oh. And then you sat down. I was like, okay, man, we didn't even know this. All that was going to end up
being. I went to press. Hey, go get him for me. go get him, bro. Hey.
All right, so we talked about your first one case. Yeah. So What case stick with you that you feel like, man, I wish I could have had that one back?
Well, I had a magistrate trial, which is magistrate means there's no jury, it's just a judge. Okay. And my client had a disputed case where she said something happened, the other guy said something happened, and it was basically a dispute. But I was like, well, let me take it in there and see what I can convince the judge that my client's right. And so I said what I had to say for my client. The other attorney said what he had to say for his client, and I was asking his client some questions. And I said, well, do you have any special training to evaluate speed? Because he said my client was speeding. Well, I didn't know he'd been in the military and he had been trained for that. He's like, actually, I do.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. So, I asked the question I probably shouldn't have asked.
Yeah.
Because then, it was like, well, actually, I do have training, and she was speeding, and so we lost. Now, magistrate court, the ceiling's $15,000. That's a way they kind of keep it there's no jury, so that's all you can win. And we don't even ask her for that much, but I still felt bad about it because I wasn't there, so I don't know if she was, she deserved to win or not, but I certainly wanted to win for her, and I believed her. I wouldn't take her on as a client. We didn't win that day, so that was unfortunate. So,
oh man, your community work. What got you so I know you like giving back to the community, but what got you so involved into the community, especially from Savannah, Pooler, and how you work your thing around here? Yeah, well,
first of all, it's a faith-based thing. I'm a Christian. I believe in tithing. Okay, and tithe is not just 10% of your money, but it's also your time, right? Yep. So you got to give back to the community, and if you don't develop, I grew up in Atlanta. And Atlanta started partitioning itself, and it was like, well, Buckhead wanted to be its own city, and Roswell wanted to be its own city. Sandy Springs
Marietta wanted to be its own.
Nobody wants to pay taxes and stuff like that. But if you don't take care of downtown Atlanta and the city, it's like a donut. Everything once if it becomes a hole and there's no jobs, no opportunity, rising crime, rising poverty, that's just going to bleed out to everywhere. You can't partition that off. You got to care and be involved in where you are. And that's incumbent upon all of us to kind of look around and open up your eyes and be like, well, how can I help? And I may send money overseas to charities from time to time and do stuff like that, like World Vision or whatever it may be. Yeah. But, you can really see the results tangible right here at home where you live. So, that's one of the reasons that sometimes, and sometimes in our communities, we have business people who don't live there. And they commute in to do their business, and then they go home and live in the suburbs. They don't know anything about the community that they live in. Right. They're just there to make $1, and that's not really going to, eventually, it's kind of myopic, this short-term thinking and short-term vision.
Because it seems like you're just coming to take from the community, and then I'm about to say you're not really investing that time and effort back into building.
The community won't even. The community will recognize it after a while too.
For sure.
They'll start seeing. They're gonna be like, "Hey man, this guy ain't with us." You know what I'm saying? He don't care for us like that. He just come through, do his thing, and get on. Only time we see him is once a month. Once a year. You know what I'm saying?
Maya Angelou said it best. She said, "No one cares how much you know till they know how much you care."
Right.
I mean, so she summed it up perfectly.
Gotta have that context with it too. Yeah. So it's like, if you don't know what they care about, then I don't care how much you did in the first place. So
That's real.
It's amazing.
That's real. That's why sometimes I even get in my car. I love my neighborhood, but I stay in FAM now. I love my neighborhood, but I don't care what I'm doing. I ride. You know what I'm saying? Even if I just hop out on the block and just go and start talking. Even when people be hitting me up about podcast questions, hey man, how you got into it? How I can do this? How I do that? I'm always gonna reach out, give them an answer. Hey, if you need me to help you, bro, I'll help you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need from me, I got you. I'll be your first guest if you want me to, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a funny thing. Sometimes it's the littlest thing. People think big picture, you're doing all this stuff, but you never know what little thing you might do that might give somebody a spark or say something or give them an incentive or get them through a bad day where, maybe they're thinking about something else and they got hope for tomorrow. Sometimes it don't take that much. Sometimes it's just hello or a smile.
It don't. You're right. Right. Good morning.
Yeah. A simple good morning.
A simple good morning.
You just got to be planting seeds. I'll be telling a lot of people, they try to, I got to wait until I can provide this much money or build this many things or buy up this many property. I was like, bro, it's all about planting seeds. Help where you can help. And then as you help, you'll be able to help more and more and more. God will bless you. You'll put like once you show them you can do this, then you'll
might plant the seed. The Bible says somebody else may water it, somebody else may be the sunshine, somebody else may be the fertilizer. Everybody just plays their role.
Mm-hmm. I feel like nowadays playing a role is hard with teams. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the Kobe, Jordan and Pippen know they role. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know, okay, we're going to give Jordan the ball. And if he don't want to shoot it, then he'll pass it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind playing the Dennis Rodman role if I have to today. I don't mind playing this role. Everybody want to be LeBron James today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I see how you work with your group. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a job for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I reached out to you, you say, okay, holler at my person gonna holler at y'all, this and that, and everybody got a job to do. And they're not mad, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm trying to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying?
It's because they all know that I tell them, I try to remind them as often as possible, and I probably don't do it enough, but I do it as much as I think about it, that I acknowledge that I wouldn't be where I am without them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. Like, and they are just as important as I am. Yeah. We all got different roles, but I wouldn't be anywhere without them. Yeah. It takes a whole team.
It takes a village.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. This is your child. It takes a villge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, exactly.
That's just real, though. Yeah. And that's a good thing, though, man, because when you know you got a team behind you, it just take a lot of weight off your back, man. Like, okay, I can trust this person. I ain't even got a second guess. I know once I tell this person this, it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And, exactly. I ain't got to check behind them. I ain't got to be like, oh, bro, you did this yet? You know what I'm saying? You already know. But next time I call them, it's going to be with another job for them to do something else, and we're going to keep this ball rolling.
You got to trust your team. You got to. You know, when Jordan came down, he passed over to Paxson to take the three. He trusted he was going to make the shot. He can trust it. He can take every shot. You can't win playing like that, right?
You right,
man. So I know you you play your part in the community and you do what you can in Savannah, but what would you say Savannah is missing?
Probably more mentors, to be honest with you. Right.
For like what age groups are you talking?
Yeah, well, particularly, let's keep it real. Young males, young black males. We need more mentors. That is something where we as a community could do a better job. And I think sometimes people think, oh, I got to be a mentor 24/7, or I got to do the whole work. Even if it's 3 or 4 people sharing the burden, not a burden, but the opportunity, I should say it that way, of having one child, one mind to shape. Because I was blessed to at least have parents that they were like, well, try this. Okay, you failed at that, try that. You failed at that, try this. Trying to stimulate me to find what I actually liked and what sparked my interest. A young mind is such a fertile ground. And sometimes, they want to get into fashion, they want to get into engineering, they want to get into the law, they want to get into construction, whatever it is. There's so many opportunities, and letting them experience those different things and having someone believe in them that they could be something more than, maybe what they see around them and on their block or whatever it is. Like, because, nobody wants to be struggling. Nobody wants pain. Nobody wants suffering. Nobody wants to be poor. And it's just like, sometimes they just need a little help to get there. A little love, quite frankly.
Yeah, you're right.
A little bit of each one teach one. People learn all this plethora of information, but they forget to bestow it upon the next generation. Because a lot of people out here, I realize, is just lost. Like, they don't know. They don't have no guidance. A lot of people don't even have the guidance I had. Like, I grew up Christian too. My father's a pastor. But you can really see out here that people are missing. They're missing that mentorship. They're missing that guidance. And I agree with you. Definitely need it in the city.
Somebody cares about you. First of all, it brings accountability. It brings hope. It brings expectations. It brings dreams that you think may actually be fulfilled. So, we need more of that. We do.
Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of people don't have that, man. Like, I think it's the age thing too. Not even the age thing. I think it's just the era of where the world at right now. That it was. I feel like people back then was more hands on. You know what I'm saying? Like
our grandparents take strangers in and stuff like that.
Right. And I was about to say that. Like, my mama fed the whole neighborhood. If I brought my friends to the crib, she'll feed everybody. You know, like, well, I knew who my dad was. You know what I'm saying? But him and my mom were separated, so like it didn't really hurt me because I used to go visit my pops. But like when I came home, I had to, you know what I'm saying, like my next door neighbor, he was on me. Hey, Alvin, come work. Like he had his own landscaping business. Come work for me on the summertime. You want to get some money in your pocket? Come work for me during the summer. It got almost to a point he was like, "Damn, you so good." Hey, you know what I'm saying? When I graduated high school, you want a job? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was like him, man, and just like going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? To the coach. Hey man, Alvin, do this, do that. Nah, this ain't for you, bro. You don't need to run behind your homeboys. Nah, I can see you doing something better with your life type stuff, you know. You don't have that too much, man, you know. Not even that. Kids don't want to listen these days. If you ain't a millionaire, you know what I'm saying, basketball player, social media, kids ain't.
Everyone wants to be an influencer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they ain't seeing you every day or doing stuff, you know, they don't care, man. Like, I ain't gonna. And like you say though, it's just a different era. Like you say, your grandparents slap you in the head if you did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? These days, you tell a kid you gonna beat them, they don't even know what that is. They look at it, they look like, beating what? He ain't gonna touch me. I call the cops. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
I'm gonna call the cops if you hit me.
will come too. You know, because they know better than
we
the
were
parents,
scared to call the cops on our parents because the police will sit there and let you and watch it. You know,
my parents were like, go ahead.
Go ahead. Hey,
I'll dial it for you.
Come on, and take them with you.
Take them with you.
Yeah, like it's just a different thing, man. I tell people that's one thing I miss because, you know, I try to, like, I just had a talk with my nephew one time. His mama called me. Hey man, you talk to him for a minute. He look up to you. I don't want him going through the same path you went through. You know, so I took him out to lunch. You know, and say, hey man. I got my own sons, but hey, told my wife, watch the kids. I'm about to pick them up. We're gonna sit down and talk. You know, I don't know if it got through to them, but I tried. You know what I'm saying?
You did your part, right?
Yeah,
you know,
I did my part.
All you can do is try.
Yeah,
right?
like, you know, try to let them understand. Hey man, you ain't gotta be no drug dealer. Try to be no rapper to have money. You know what I'm saying? Because he listen to NBA YoungBoy, so it's like, bro, you ain't gotta be no rapper. You know what I'm saying? To be,
and the odds of that is just so slim anyway.
Man,
right?
Come on, man. You know how many rappers we got out here in the world?
Right.
If you don't play that same song over and over, you still won't hear all the rappers in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's too many of y'all. So I'm not trying to crush your dream. Yeah, I'm not trying to crush your dream. You know what I'm saying? But that be a little realistic. You know what I'm saying? What's the chance of you really being a millionaire in the rap game? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Real slim.
You have a better chance trying to be a lawyer or a contractor. You know, it just like the world made jobs like lawyers and just regular jobs for people look like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be making millions of dollars to be somebody, and it's not true, bro. You know,
it's not. What you do is you find that people who are, you know, in their late 50s, early 60s, looking at retirement, and ask them, you know, what career path did you choose and how did it work out for you? Because, you know, I think the saddest thing is we see an old person who ain't got no money, you know, and they're living, you know, kind of choosing between medicine and food and trying to make decisions like that. That's just brutal.
You're right.
You know, trying to keep the heat, you know, at a certain temperature rather than be warm because it's like wintertime and they can't turn up the heat.
Survival, basically.
Like that's, you know.
Just because they want to do this, but they not being realistic, you know, and just follow the path, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell everybody, I want to be a basketball player. When I messed my knee up, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no jumping. You know what I'm saying? I got to find something else done. You got to move. You got to be able to pivot. You can't just focus on one thing because it's a whole bunch of, that might not be it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it might not.
Yeah, God might not have that plan for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I like to say it's pain of discipline or pain of regret. You're going to get the pain.
You go get the pain regardless. It's either you're going to make it happen or not.
Life ain't all roses and everything like that. But pain of discipline's a whole lot better than pain of regret.
You're right.
Man, bars. Bars. I know you have brought up what your dream job is. Would you say that? Actually, I'll let bro go ahead and finish it off. It's gonna be the Thanos.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's my favorite one. Okay, yo, Thanos. What's your end game? Yo, Thanos.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you know, there are not a lot of Black-owned large PI firms. Okay, you know, I'm just being real with you. Driving around, and part of it's access to capital.
Yeah.
Part of it is that like we are kind of just now, and you know, we're doing okay, but like we're just now we're not that far removed from the 60s. We couldn't even get into law schools, right? So then there's another generation, it's the first generation to get in, and there's another generation behind that, like maybe the second generation. But it takes time to accumulate wealth and access and knowledge and, quite frankly, power. So, you know, I would like to build, you know, a large Black-owned, you know, personal injury firm that I could be proud of. And I got a niece that's going to law school here soon, and you know, I want her name. I could put it's already on the door.
It's already there.
Turn it over to her. You know, that would be nice, and then I could just call in and check in and be like, "Send me a check."
What's my percentage?
Exactly.
Do you feel like we need, like, as far as, like you say, Black PI lawyers, do you feel like it'll get to that point one day? Where
it will. It will. I mean, I mean, you know, the door's already been kicked open by people who are a lot smarter, a lot more talented, a lot more aggressive than I was. But, you know, we just got to follow through it. But, you know, we got to work hard, and we can't expect the world to give us anything, because that's how it works. You know, you got to take it and fight for it, you know.
And just to keep it.
You know, and exactly. And spend some time on your knees, because, you know, that's ultimately where it all comes from.
And I always try to tell people, and that's not to discredit what with our experience in this country and what we had to go through, what our ancestors had to go through and all that stuff. But you can't use that stuff as an excuse. You got to pull yourself up now. It's opportunity out here for you to be able to do something with yourself.
I'm going to quote Frederick Douglass. I told you like how much I admire and respect him. And he said, one in God makes a majority. You know, and that's real, right? I don't care who's against you, what the forces are.
With God,
don't matter. It'd be a whole army. One in God make a majority. So what does it matter?
It's facts.
You're right. You can't stop what God has for you.
Yep, cannot.
Even if you don't want it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Even if you don't want it, He gonna still make you get it. You know what I'm saying? You can tell her, hey man, I don't want that, right? And guess what? You gonna end up still doing it.
That's true.
You're right. You're right.
Man, he came out here with all the bars, man.
You're right.
But go ahead and shout out to, this is gonna be your camera right here. Go ahead and say anything you want to the fans, anything you want to our viewers and our listeners.
Well, definitely thank y'all for listening to the podcast. They do a great job. Make sure you go listen to season 6 because it's legit. I just want to thank you guys for your time. Derek Horne Law Firm. If you ever need an attorney that actually cares about you, that will actually sit down and meet with you and actually fight for you, I'm your man. I got a great team. And like I say, personal injury deserves personal attention. It doesn't deserve this kind of, you're just a number, conveyor belt, you know, never meet your attorney, because, you know, you can practice all like that, but we definitely choose not to.
Awesome.
Fact.
Thank you again for allowing
me. If I'm ever in the injury, I'm calling Horne.
For sure. What are you talking about?
I'm pulling up on Horne.
Already got it on speed dial. Thank you again for showing up. Go ahead and put out your social medias, anything you want the viewers to come find you at.
www.horne.law, 912-800-HURT, 4878. And you can look us up. You can Google us, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over.
Okay. Hey, question though, before we carry it out, because we about to carry it out, and I'm not talking about the murder case of it, but with the thing that happened in South Carolina with the dude
Murdoch.
Yeah, as far as the part with like the stealing like that he was doing, you know what I'm saying, and the wrong things he was doing. Do you think people watching that kind of affect the game of the PI game, just from people watching how they could think, you know what I'm saying, like how he was working? You
know, I just say I hope not. I mean, there's bad people in every profession, right? You got bad doctors, you got bad teachers, you got bad police officers, you're going to have bad attorneys. I mean, that's just a human condition, and sometimes people get caught up because they borrow too much, or they got some kind of gambling problem or an addiction, and it causes all kind of issues like that, you know, and then it manifests in their lives, and, you know, it's you can steal from clients because, you know, their money's coming in. Sometimes they don't know how much they're supposed to get. There's some personal injury. People get confused. They don't even know what to expect, so stuff like that. But, you know, hopefully it's not going to, but sure, every time people, like I said, bad news travels a lot faster than good news. Anytime people hear that kind of thing, they're like, oh, I'm going to try to handle my case on my own. But, you know, one thing I can say is that I have had many people come to me and they tried to handle a case on their own.
The
insurance company gave them the Heisman, you know. And then basically, stiff arm to the face, and then they call me. And sometimes when I see, we can elevate them, but it's a lot easier if they don't kind of like, mess it up from the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because insurance companies are like the Miranda rights. Anything you say will be used against you.
Will be used against you.
Yeah, and you gotta be on it, because like you said, once you open it up and then start, them folks gonna record and remember everything you just said. So when you come back with something else, it's like, no, bro, yeah, we got this in record that you said this. How about you just take this 5,000? We gonna leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? And you looking like, oh God. Hey, well, you might just need to take this 5,000 and sign this paper. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I had a family member who tried to do it by themselves one time, and it didn't kind of work out for that person because they was swole up and down like they thought they was a lawyer themselves. So they were like, oh, all I gotta do is get this, get this, get that. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, I mean, but they just felt like, oh, they gonna trick me or they gonna get me, you know what I'm saying, this and that, because I guess he done dealt with a lawyer before. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying, she was like, oh, if the lawyer did it the first time, I could do it myself. And it ain't quite work out.
Street knowledge is good for the street.
It ain't work out like, you know what I'm saying, because I think what she said, they had a meeting and they sat across from each other, and the person was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Your back still straight up. You sitting straight up. Blah 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 blah. It's just her against them. Right, you know what I'm saying? So it quite didn't work out, but get you a lawyer, man. I tell you, get you. Hey,
listen, I'm not a mechanic. You know what I'm saying, like that. So if something's really wrong with my car, I'm gonna call an expert. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to handle my own and then like drive somewhere.
And then you get you know what I'm saying, you gotta settle for something that you don't even want. Cause like you say, it could be life changing, man. Like you might have an injury that you can't get back from for the rest of your life. You gotta walk around that limp for the rest of your life. So sometimes it ain't good to bet on yourself, man.
Right,
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
For sure.
And we appreciate you.
I definitely appreciate
it. I like this conversation, man. Yes, sir.
So it's your host, Candy. You can find me at I Am Candy 2020 on Instagram and I Am Candy Photography on Facebook. And of course, you can find me at the Bullring Podcast on Instagram and the Bullring Podcast on Facebook. And you know we got
your boy Word Sinatra. You can find me at Word Sinatra, Big Word Sinatra, Pressure Boys 912.
Okay.
We still pressure washing and stuff like that.
Man, that's just the new price, man.
Yeah, that's just the new price, man. Ain't no it's just 20% off.
Sure.
Period. Yeah. And Bullring Podcast, man. Google us, you'll find us, man. Like I always say, take care of your kids, pay your bills, get you some life insurance, man. Definitely be generational wealth. Don't leave your family here with no GoFundMe's and trying to figure out how to put you in the ground and trying to figure out how to take care of themselves when they leave here. Simple $40, $50, $60 a month will take care of your kid, your family while you gone, you know, and could position them in a better place or whatever. So make sure you got some life insurance. It takes 2 years for it to start counting. So if you ain't got none now, go get some. I don't sell insurance, but I know this. It takes 2 years for it to kick in. So if you don't have any, get you some, put some on your kids, put some on your family, put some on your mama, your brother, your daddy, your sister. Make sure y'all generational wealth is hitting like it's supposed to, bro. For real. I got it. Everybody got it. So get it. And for real. I always tell people that. And man, we out.
Okay.